Hello and welcome to Ventana Wildlife Society's The Condor Chat. Since April 2020, we've been doing these monthly chats with the Condor crew so you can hear directly from them, the ones working with these birds. And you hear about the current status of the recovery effort, things that are going on in the field, nesting, all kinds of stuff. Sometimes we also have special guests, and I'm super excited to introduce you to Jean Weiss, a longtime supporter and friend of the California Condor and Ventana Wildlife Society. Jean and her husband, Tim, used to live in Big Sur and had a property that afforded them many opportunities to see the condors flying at eye level and sometimes even landing on your house, if I remember right.
That's true.
And we became really good friends in 2010. Jean opened up her home for us to do a condor event, and we'll show you some pictures of that later on. And took her up to see the condors and even got her to handle a few of the birds once. And just I wanted to take this time to introduce you to her, and also to thank you, Jean, and your husband Tim for such a generous pledge over 5 years, a $250,000 pledge over 5 years. And that's just extraordinary. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. It really helps us keep everything going forward, all the hard work that we're doing in the field to save the California condor. And I just want to take a moment too to stress how important it is that no matter what the size of the gift is, it's meaningful. It's meaningful to you as the donor. And that's a great place to start. Let's get into, you really developed a strong bond with these birds, especially when you had your time here in Big Sur. Can you maybe just share a little bit about that?
Yeah. Thank you, Kelly. That was a very nice introduction. Thank you. I am a very big fan of Ventana Wildlife Society, Kelly and the team, and the condors. I think Kelly, you and I were talking, and I said I remember the first time I saw a condor, and was quite struck with how big it was, and how prehistoric it looked. But the more I learned about them, how long they live, how they raise their children, their babies, their children. I just became to admire them so much, and it became, having a condor sighting was a pretty exciting time. So as I'm sure you are much better at this than me, but you kind of start training your eyes to the sky.
Mhm.
And when it was funny when we would hear someone sitting maybe next to us at a restaurant or whatever and see a turkey vulture fly by and go, "Oh, look, a condor, a condor," thinking, that's a condor. But until you know the markings, but until you see a condor next to a turkey vulture, there is no question when there's a real contour spotting, and it literally takes your breath away. So we have been lucky enough to have them land on our roof and land in our yard. I've had them fly so low over my head that I could hear the wind going through their feathers. I've had feathers fall in our yard, which was like, I mean, I can't. To be quite frank, I consider those as big of a treasure as anything. I mean, they're just so special. So, anyhow, I mean, I have a great admiration for the work that you all have been doing and bringing them back from such a small number to where they are now. And I just think it's very noble work. And I mean, Tim and I wanted to be a part of bringing them back, and maybe even one day getting them off of the danger list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Well, you're making a big impact, and we're getting much closer on that front, as you know.
Yeah.
You described to me earlier when we spoke that the condor is the ultimate female spirit
Mhm.
animal. Did I
Right.
write that down correctly?
Yeah, yeah. In tribal terms, the condor represents the feminine, and the eagle represents the male energy. So, I don't know. I just had I mean, I love eagles too, don't get me wrong, but I just had an intense connection to the condor, and in my quiet way of being a shaman too, um, I just have a strong bond with them. I don't know if it's just my admiration for their history and their size. Just I'm not quite sure, but it was love at first sight. Let me say that. It was love at first sight, and I know I think Ventana Wildlife has something about a face only a mother could love. Didn't you have something about looking at the
Yeah.
condor and saying it's a face only a mother could love? I think they're so beautiful. So I just I wave the flag on the fan club team. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
Yeah,
spirit animal. I've never
yeah, yeah,
described that way, but that it's. I think a lot of people here on this chat can probably relate.
yeah,
When you see all the hearts going up on the screen.
yeah.
So,
I mean, and truly is a spirit animal for me. There's no doubt about that.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny. That reminded me. It was a chick's face on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Only
That
a.
only a mother could love. Yeah.
Might have to bring that one back. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's good. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, thanks for that. And I know that you're also involved in other areas of conservation, through us, of course, and helping the condor, but you're on the board of Oceana
Right.
and being a spokesman for our world's oceans. You want to share a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. I've been on the board of Oceana for about 10 years. It's a global nonprofit that focuses only on the globe on our oceans. Um, so we've been very involved with, trying to combat climate change, plastic pollution, overfishing, illegal fishing. Um, as Ventana Wildlife is involved with trying to trade out the bullets, lead bullets for copper bullets. We're trying to trade out, crab pots for, you know, crab nets that release if something else gets, caught in it, or trying to mitigate lost fishing gear, which is a horrible, horrible, horrible problem. When you see the pictures of the whales and the dolphins caught in the nets, most of the time it's from lost fishing gear. But yeah, I mean, our goal is to be able to provide a seafood meal to every person in the world forever, because there's that much fish in the ocean that can do that if if we don't overfish and we keep our oceans healthy. And oceans provide 70% of the oxygen that we breathe. So it's pretty important to keep them healthy. So I mean, we do try to do our part for the globe in that way, but um, I do have my terrestrial favorites, and the condor is definitely one of them.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks for that work and everything you do for our oceans too.
Um, my pleasure. It's my honor, actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we have a few pictures that we can show if Joe can get the presentation going again. I want to talk about that release event that we did at
Yeah.
your house back in
Fun. Yeah.
2010. We pulled out some archives.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Here's you handling a
Yeah.
condor
Yeah.
uh, in the old release pen, the one that got burnt down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we've rebuilt it since, of course.
Oh,
But
yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and then this is from your property in Big Sur.
Yeah.
What was that day like for you?
Oh, that was so exciting. That was so exciting. I mean, it was fun. That was in 2010.
Yeah, that's what our notes say.
So
Yep, 2010.
I was trying to think of how long we had lived there at the time. We had just built the house, and yeah, so we were residents of Big Sur for just a few years at that time, and I was so excited that you actually even suggested that we could do that from our property, and being able to open that pen and let the condor out was really, really exciting. well, first of all, he sounded like he really wanted to get out, which I understood. But to watch him run and fly off of that cliff was incredible. And there are some pictures that one of our neighbors took that, I mean, if you don't think a condor is pretty fierce,
Hmm.
it looked that the picture of that condor flying away, it looked fierce and gorgeous. So that it was fun, and you know, we were happy to raise money for the cause. Um, yeah, that was fun.
Oh yeah, there. Look at that.
There he
Mhm.
goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that was exciting. I loved it. Yeah, I loved it.
Awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why it was such a great release spot. You can see why, where it's situated on the coast and right on the edge of the cliff. It
Yeah.
made a nice launch ramp.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. I
And I
don't
love the
remember which one he was, but he was ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it was
Well,
208. I think it was 208 or
so wait, yeah, these were adults that had been
treat.
recently trapped and screened for lead and maybe even treated or something, and then brought down to your place to be re-released. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what we're doing. That those weren't the young birds that we get
Yeah.
fresh out of the zoo. It'd be a
And
little too disorienting for them. But these guys, they already know where they are and the habitat. They probably flew over your house a million times. Like, oh yeah,
oh,
it's Gene's
totally.
place.
Yeah. I hope that's the way they feel.
Yeah.
And going up to the Condor camp was so exciting. I really, really enjoyed that. That was fun to watch how you do what you do. And, you know, we had talked about it so often. It was really fun to watch and to be able to work with one of your biologists, checking out that condor and realizing how incredibly big they are.
Well,
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
we put you on feet on this bird, 547. And that's Melissa holding the
Yeah.
body and the beak. The beak's the business end. You didn't get to
Yeah.
graduate to the beak. We didn't want to
Yeah.
push you that far.
I was
That's
glad. I was glad to have the tail end. That's okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I let her handle the beacon.
You saw how serious we were with that beak. It was, yeah, it was all business up there.
Oh yeah.
But you did great. I remember that. And you just blended with the crew. And, we always just like when folks just, kind of sit back and observe. And because it is stressful for us. Obviously, we rather see them out flying in the wild, but it's one of the necessary steps we take to make sure they're healthy and safe. And, so all that, I mean, we've been collecting that same data since back in 2010, and it's just become really valuable for us understanding the whole lead poisoning issue. And, it's really launched, the non-lead work that Mike's been doing. And, yeah, it's, you were right there at those beginning stages.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is a good segue. Do you have any other thoughts, Gene, you'd like to share? Anything else you'd like to comment? I just, while you're thinking on it, I just want to thank you again for your support over all these years. It's so meaningful in
Yeah.
both.
Thank you from all of us. Yeah. Kelly hit it around the head.
It's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Like I said, I think it's such noble work, what Ventana Wildlife does, and you should be. I mean, I'm very proud of you, and all of you should be so proud of what you do. I mean, considering what Kelly, the number was what, 22 when you first took over?
That
Yeah,
was the population low. Yeah.
yeah. And we've seen the highs and some lows with the fires, and just it's the condors deserve to have their place in the sky, and without your help, they wouldn't be here. I mean, we'd only see them in a zoo, right?
Right.
But to be able I mean, if you ever, for those who are listening, if they ever can get to Big Sur, um, or wherever else they fly in the pinnacles, or wherever else you would suggest, but I can only speak about Big Sur because that's where we lived. To see a condor in flight is religion. For me, it's religion. I never get over the just marveling at the sight of them. I mean, just their size is incredible, but they're just so graceful and so beautiful. When you think of vulture, you don't think of those words, but but they are. I mean, I think they're such beautiful birds, and it's such an honor for us to be involved with you. I don't have the background that you have, Kelly, or that the biologists have, but we certainly have the heart for it. We do what we can, and by doing this pledge and supporting Ventana Wildlife, we trust that you will continue doing your good work, and we will be there with you, watching and cheering. That's for sure. Um, I miss not living in Big Sur. We're not there anymore, but we'll be there in a couple of weeks. I can't wait to go, and I will be looking for some condors. There's no doubt about that.
Uh, that's so fantastic.
And I have a family picture, a selfie with a condor, which was kind of cool. The one that, well, I think it was Fuego, that had landed on our patio or on our second deck, and was just hanging out. And the grandkids were over, and I said, let's gather and try and get a. You don't get to take a selfie with a condor very often, so.
Crazy.
So we have that in our family album. So that's we can
That's
truthfully
awesome.
say that Fuego is part of our family.
And he's still down there. That's still his territory.
I
Gene,
love it. That's awesome.
Produced a chick last year. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Well, thank you for having me on. I'd like to thank you. I know this isn't over, but I'd just like to thank you for having me to be able to talk about the condors, because I mean, quite frankly, I mean, I could talk all day. So you'll have to just kind of tell me to settle down and just move on whenever you need to, because it's clearly a happy subject for me.
Well, that is so awesome. Thank you for sharing all of that. And I do hope you'll stick around, because I think we'll have some
Sure.
questions for you at the end. We reserve questions for the panelists. So if you can, it'd be wonderful.
Of course.
And great. So we were talking about events. We have a couple of slides. I wanted to talk up our upcoming event, and a couple of things I want to highlight here. So this is a combined in-person and online auction. So starting tomorrow, you can sign up for the online auction. It'll run from May 28th to June 8th, and we have tons and tons of really exciting experiences, as well as other tangible things like wine and art and lots of wonderful things. And we're getting stuff in by the day. Everyone who signs up for either the online auction or attends in person on June 7 in Carmel Valley will be entered into a drawing to go up with me on the Condor sanctuary trip at our sanctuary. Some of those photos where we took Jean and we showed you. I wanted to make this available for all. So we're going to have a random drawing. So all you got to do is participate. Wow. And you'll get a chance to have the same similar experience that Jean had. So I just wanted to highlight that. I'm really excited to do that. Of course, we're also going to auction off that ability for fundraising, because clearly this event is all about trying to raise money and keep the program going. So just wanted to highlight it to all of you. I hope you can participate one way or the other, either in person, online auction, or both. And we have some wonderful sponsors already. The event sponsor is Hidden Valley Music Seminars in Carmel Valley. They're letting us use the beautiful space at no cost. And Post Ranch Inn made a $5,000 sponsorship gift. And Alvarado Street Brewery is going to provide beer. Blade and Talon Wine is providing wine. And our very own Marianne Leffel on the board also is sponsoring the event. So if you want to sponsor the event, you want to show up on June 7, or you want to participate in the online auction, please do. We, as you know, this whole year is the first year in the last 5 that we are operating without federal funding. And you've been hearing us talk about that for some time now. And so it's a big reason why we brought back the event. But it's also because I've heard a lot from you a lot of people have saying, "Hey, when are you going to have an in-person event again?" Those were fun. Let's do that. So we're bringing it back. Feathers in Flight. Some of you might remember it from before when we did this event down in Big Sur. I think that's it for me. I'll probably turn it over to Joe now. We've got the rest of the agenda to hear about condor recovery in the field. Thanks again.
Thank you, Kelly. And again, thank you, Jean, our special guest today. Really cool to catch up. And yeah, you hit the nail on the head when you were describing the condor experience. Yeah, we have a good update today. We're going to give you the usual update on the population. We have some incredible photos like the one on the right here by Tim Huntington. You can see the condor peeking its eye through the primary feathers. A really cool shot. Of course, the great Tim Huntington nailed it again. And it looks like he was over at Pinnacles based on that rock formation behind it. We're also going to talk about our rookies that we released at San Simeon this year. We got some, Evan has provided us an updated map on movements, and they are pretty darn exciting. Darren's going to talk about those, and we're going to talk about our fledglings from last year, 2025, and then our current nesting year that's happening right now. We have birds nesting, and we'll have a lot of good info on that. And then again, at the end, we'll field some questions. Micah help us field a bunch of questions. And then again, before we get too far ahead, I want to make sure everyone puts this on their calendars for next month. Our next Condor Chat is Thursday, 5/28, 2026. And we'll remind folks at the end too. But let's get right into it. I am Joe Burnett, Condor Program Manager, joined by Mike Stake, our non-lead outreach program coordinator. We have Darren Gross, Condor Biologist, with us today. Of course, Kelly and Jean, and those that aren't here, two of our other biologists, Kara Fadden and Danae Mouton. I mentioned our GIS specialist, Evan. He made a map for us today. Of course, Tim Huntington, who takes the great photos, is also our database designer and super volunteer. And then our veterinarian advisor, the great Amy Wells, who's really helps us on so many levels. And again, just our incredible, stellar team of volunteers that go out tracking for us and doing incredible monitoring down the coast. Just want to give them a huge, big shout out. And this week we've just had our recent volunteer appreciation week, and chance for us to just thank and appreciate those awesome volunteers. So our population, we are at 113. So that's a good number. And condor deaths so far in 2026, we're at 3. Obviously, we'd love that to be 0. So so far, all those necropsies are pending for these birds that that actually came in. We suspect lead for most of them, but we'll have that confirmed. That's unconfirmed, but yeah, it takes a little while for all the lab results to come back. And unfortunately, we have 4 missing birds.
Oh no.
You can see here 995 Tish, 1011 Diane, 1034 Hasso, and 1042 Rachel. So we really hope they turn up, but some of those birds have been gone. You can see Diane's been gone since May last year. So yeah, that's not a good pattern. So she's likely lost. We try to find all the birds that go missing, but these birds cover huge territories and go to places sometimes where we can't find them. And just for reference, last year our total deaths was 9. And again, that number that annual mortality we definitely want to get that much lower, and we're working hard on the non-lead front. Trying to reduce those lead deaths is a big part of what we're doing. And just to recap at the top there, 2025 fledglings, we have 5, and number released 13 between San Simeon and Pinnacles. And we're going to have some updates on those guys, or at least the San Simeon ones this update. April and photos. April is awesome. Spring. We actually were relieved to get some rain this month. March was looking pretty dry and bleak and scaring us a little bit, but April really made up for it. We had a couple really good storms. And yeah, here's some great shots from all these photos are either Meredith or Tim. And I squeaked one in there. You know, my quality is definitely not near where those guys are at. But sometimes I'm lucky and I'm in the right place at the right time. On the right photo there, I caught a bird coming into roost at sunset up at the Condor Sanctuary with the fog rolling in, and it's always pretty magical to see that. And then the photo on the left is just words can't describe all the detail going on there. I'm always amazed at when people ask me the color of a condor head, I'm like, it's not just one color. It's there's a lot going on there. You got some orange, you got some pink, and then you even have the dark eye, the right below the eye. Yeah, pretty incredible. Just in their feather boa, which is always pretty dramatic. And yeah, I could just talk about that photo for a while.
Well, and Joe, I just want to give special thanks to Meredith Evans for continuing to provide such fantastic photos.
Yeah, her and Tim go out and still do photography together and they were over at Pinnacles in April, this last April, and they got I'm going to show a few more here. They got some incredible shots.
Wow.
Yeah, you have 1310 there on the left. Yeah, jump in, Darren. And yeah, we got 1036. Yeah, it's just really interesting. Every condor is unique. And when you really when you see the detail in these photos, you really do see differences between the individuals. I know they all seem to look alike, but at closer inspection, you see that there are some subtle differences. And obviously the condors know who's who. But this is a great example of a juvenile on the left. That bird is probably around 2, I'm guessing, in that year and a half, 2 years old. And the bird on the right is a full adult, an older adult, 1030. Well, just coming of adult. She still has a little speckling on the cheek and the face. But really amazing. And actually, this is a good showcase of the tracking devices we use on the birds. There's a nice, on the right, 1036 is wearing a solar powered GPS, which have become really important in tracking where these birds go, where we think they're picking up some of this lead, when they get lead poisoned. Those have been really valuable for us understanding where they're moving. And then on the left, that's the standard radio tag all birds get. That's how we track them. It's older technology, but it's the old standby. And yeah, if a bird were to stop moving or get into trouble, those tags are critical for finding when we have to ground search and go find the birds.
Oh no.
So the combo of GPS and radio is really the ideal. But yeah, we have about half the birds wearing GPS, but all the birds have on the left have that radio tag. Wow. I mean, that's like a postcard.
Do you have a question, G?
Can you still see me?
Oh yeah.
Oh, you can? I lost you. I was like, hang on. I can't see you right now. Hang on. Something just happened. Oh, there I am. Sorry. Could you see me going, hey, I need help? I was trying to get Tim's. Sorry about that. Everything went dark and I was like, oh no, what did I do?
No
Sorry about that. I'm back.
Yeah, this is a great photo again at 1036 with the backdrop of pinnacles. Yeah, so the birds in Central California, they bounce back from the coast to pinnacles inland in a given day. They might do it multiple times. So yeah, it's part, it's hard to say pinnacles versus Big Sur flock, but this is just a beautiful shot of the pinnacles landscape, why they love it. This is why condors really, really love it. Another great example of differences in head coloration, ages. Got a really young bird there on the right.
Looks like Puff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't know which bird it is exactly.
I think it's still Rosalie. I think it's still 1036 there.
1036. Yeah. It looks like that's still 1310 maybe.
Mm-hmm. I think
so. Funny. It's not really the crop though, is it? They're
yeah, it's air sacs.
Air sacs, yeah.
Yeah, it's big air sacs in their neck that they actually inflate. And it's funny with some young birds, and Darren can speak to it too. We see some young birds showing that potential earlier. It's pretty rare you see a bird like on the right, they're really puffing out, but it's funny. We'll see the chicks of birds that are infamous for having the biggest air sacs they start doing it a little earlier. Like any offspring of 219 puff is gonna be we've noticed they start right away. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely a way to communicate to each other and to show, if they really brighten it up, we know it's really important during breeding season, during courtship.
Wow.
They really show it off. So yeah, that's a great view of the air sacs, and the air sacs go up into the cheeks too, right there below the beak.
Yeah, this bird just looks bloated.
Yeah, I
I don't think
know.
I've ever seen that before.
Yeah, that's a happy condor. That's a view we like to see.
That's cool.
And then and then you have this is when the air sacs are deflated, and you can see the difference.
Wow.
You can even see the wrinkles in I like this photo because you can see the light blue, that coloration, because they've got three colors going on here, that orange, the pink on the throat patch, and then the blue on the back of the neck. But it's pretty amazing. Yeah, the bird on the left is definitely not Rosalie.
No, yeah, this is I think this is 692, who's one of the dominant
Okay.
males at Pinnacles.
Yeah. That photo on the right is all business, buddy.
Yeah. Looks like he's about ready to whoop up on somebody.
Yeah,
You do not
it
want to, you don't want to tangle with that.
No.
A couple other really cool shots by Tim. Yeah, Tim's Condor photo archive is just growing, just never ceases to amaze us. But really cool watching a bird flare out right before it lands on the right there. And then you can tell it was on the left. It's probably a chilly morning when he took this shot, because the bow was all up over the head and the neck, like a little hoodie, putting on the hoodie. And yeah, just amazing.
Yeah, these two, 726 and 966, are they're in a trio with the other male we just showed, 692, at Pinnacles right now, and they're nesting. So I think Tim and Meredith were able to catch them at different times when all three were taking turns incubating their egg. And yeah, these are the two females here, 726 and 966, just enjoying the time off the nest, getting to interact with each other and yeah, play a little bit, get some wrestling in.
Yeah, we see this a lot with pairs and trios, just with really a strong affiliative behaviors like this, like you see with a lot of animals, a lot of play with condors, which is, I think, just a sign of their social intelligence. They definitely have a lot of downtime and they take advantage of it. Beautiful shot. Look at that. Bird's almost horizontal. Look at that vertical.
Yeah, coming to land on the cliff here. I think this is a 1204 Jade who hatched on the coast a few years back. And has been really making the rounds since. But yeah, really cool to see her over here at Pinnacles.
Yeah, Jade fledged out of a redwood gene not too far from, a little further south from where your place was.
Such a cool shot. Same here. These landing shots are awesome. And just how like Tim and Meredith were able to catch the light on these birds was pretty stellar. I think this is 1238, who's a Pinnacles managed bird. But yeah, a lot of action. I think this was closer to sunset. And yeah, there's just always a lot of action, a lot of movement sort of right before that time as birds are finding roosts and interacting with each other before the day ends. But yeah, beautiful shot by Tim here. Yeah, and it was yeah, this is a 574 Nomad, who's one of our coastal regulars. We don't get to see him too much outside of the sanctuary because he hangs out kind of in South Big Sur, but Tim got these awesome photos of Nomad on the coast this day and with the water there, which is just really cool. Cool to see him out there and yeah, give Tim a chance to get some good photos of him. But yeah, Tim and Meredith had tons of awesome photos. It was hard to choose which ones to show you all, but yeah, definitely follow them.
But
And
yeah, that photo on the right, it's just
yeah,
perfect symmetry. Like, look at the feathers are all fanned out. I mean, it's just what Jean was talking about earlier. That's the magic right there,
It really is. Yeah.
especially right over the ocean.
mhm.
Joe, just
Like
a
this
quick
shot.
question in the chat. Someone asked about Tim's photographs, if he's selling them to benefit the cause, and he does sell them separately, but he is very generous. So is Meredith Evans. They're very generous with their artwork, and it is very, very valuable for our work and fundraising and communicating with you today in these chats, for example. So again, I just want to take a moment to thank both of them. Without them, we just wouldn't have these magnificent images to share with you. So huge kudos. And if there is a way to buy those images, maybe we'll make a point to post a link next time.
Yeah, and they have it on their, Tim's is webnectar.com, and I believe Meredith has, I think Meredith's is, it's on the photo.
Yeah, I know she kind of goes by like Meredith Evans Photography.
Yeah,
And
I think so.
Yeah, and I think you can find that on social media too.
Okay, good deal.
Fantastic. Please help them out.
Mhm.
Yeah, and for us biologists, it's hard to describe to people. It's been nice because we have, you can describe things a million ways, but until you see it, like, as Jean was talking about, this is the next best thing. I mean, it's as close as you can get without seeing them. It's pretty spectacular. So yeah, their photos really capture it. But like Jean said, really, you want to get out there and really see them. It's a game changer when you see a condor.
Really is.
Mhm. Yeah, especially when you get a view like this in person. If I can see them on the over the ocean like this, because when Tim gets these photos, they're always just insane.
Yeah, it's
this
pretty
is-
cool. You can see sea lions on that rock right there.
Yep.
So this is
Mhm.
probably,
Yeah.
we know where that is.
Yep.
Mhm.
All right, the rookie update. We got some exciting stuff for the rookies this round. I saw that Evan put an awesome map together. And I'll jump right to that and let Darren dig into that one.
Yeah. Big thanks to Evan, as always, for the maps he provides us for these chats. Because they really help us kind of describe, what the birds are doing, where they're going, and sort of the variations in that. But yeah, so Evan put this map together of the movements of our 7 rookies that we released last October. And this map is showing their movements over the last 3 months. So this month, April, and then the past March and February. And so just kind of starting at the map on the right here, the yellow dashed line is sort of the condor range of the Central California condor flock from 2025. So as of 2025, these are sort of the areas where they were going. And so Evan put that there for reference so you can see within that area where these 7 rookies have been going the past 3 months. And so starting back in February, there really weren't that many movements away from our San Simeon site. The furthest movement we had was 1265. She flew a little south. South of Route 46. It looks like they're kind of the blue dots here on the map, just in the sort of in the center bottom part of the map here. And there's the little blurb Evan has on here for 1265. But yeah, on February 28th, she was looks like made it around the Cayucas area, south of 46. But her and the rest of the birds weren't really moving too far from where we released them here in San Simeon. And then in March, we started seeing a lot more movements and a lot larger movements too. So again, kind of referring to the map, all the purple dots on the map here are showing the March movements for these 7 birds. And Evan has shouted out a few of these with little blurbs here. So starting first with 1290 on March 19th, he flew all the way east in the Central California flock range. Even east of Highway 101, we don't typically see birds going that far east. But yeah, he flew that far east and then made it all the way to the coast on March 20th. And that was about a 72-mile flight that he did just over the course of a day. And yeah, when he came to the coast, he came to our Big Sur sanctuary. So he was with all the birds there. I think he was a little intimidated because if I'm remembering correctly, he flew immediately back to San Simeon after he arrived at the Big Sur sanctuary, which is a little bit of a shock to these birds, I think, when they first show up there and there's all these adult condors around. So they're used to seeing adults at San Simeon, but not in the numbers that we have in Big Sur. And he's been back up there since, but yeah, that was his first trip up there and a little bit of a shock, and definitely his biggest movement to this date. And 2 other birds in March that made a big movement were 1302 and 1302, or yeah, 1302 and 1307. They flew up to Pinnacles National Park on March 27th, and they've been there since. They've been hanging out there every day, and yeah, the Pinnacles crew sees them all the time with their birds up there. So they've really gotten comfortable up there within the park, which is really cool to see. Um, yeah, and then just this past month, we've continued to see pretty large movements from all of seven of the rookies. These this last month, the dots in green are showing April's movements. And yeah, just a few shout outs here that have been included is 1307 on April 7th. He flew up from Pinnacles, where he had been spending time up north, to where we see a lot of condors hanging out around I think it's around the San Luis Reservoir, where he made it up there. And I'm sure he wasn't alone when he got up there. We see a lot of birds move up that way and then head back to Pinnacles. And then we had a few other birds head south just a couple days ago on April 28th, 1289 and 1312. Both flew southwest of San Luis Obispo, which is pretty far south, especially for those birds who had never been that far south before. So yeah, we're really seeing all these birds making more movements. But what's really cool is they're flying really far away, like this map is showing, but they're always returning to San Simeon. Um, or in the case of 1302 and 1307, they're returning to Pinnacles National Park now. But yeah, that's what we really love to see, that they know that these like sanctuaries, these release sites are good places for them, safe places for them, but we want them to be exploring and getting to know the rest of the flock and their habitat. So really cool just to see them adjusting and settling in like this.
Yeah, they're right on track.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right in time for summer. We could see some big movements next couple months.
Oh yeah.
And as a reminder, these are 2-year-old birds, right?
Yeah, they are. I think they have just all turned 2 years old, I believe.
Yeah, well, they're released at a year and a half. Yeah, so they're
Mhm.
just turning two, just a
Mhm.
little older than two.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they've got a lot of mentors out there to show them around. So
Mhm. Indeed.
a lot of birds to follow these days. A lot of other younger birds. It's really cool to see them when they band up with these wild fledged chicks
Mm.
of similar age, and they just naturally all gravitate to each other and start following each other around.
Mhm.
We're gonna talk about some of that too coming up, but yeah, I want to get to that kind of it's a cool shot.
Yeah, yeah. So some kind of big news on the 2025 fledgling front. So one of the untagged fledglings from last year was recently trapped over at Pinnacles National Park. And when that happens, we typically don't know who the bird is when they're untagged. We don't really have a good sense, or we don't have enough of a sense to give them their official ID tag, just because we don't know who it officially is. So we always give them a temporary ID tag. This bird received a green tag with 17 on it, and their temporary number is 9017. And so part of the handling process for this bird was the Pinnacles crew drew blood that they're sending off to a lab for genetics testing. And once the results of that genetics testing come back, we'll know who this bird actually is. And when we trap them again, we'll give them their official tags. But we were able to narrow down a little bit who this bird could be. So uh, all of the 2025 chicks from Pinnacles National Park, their crew were able to give microchips. We try to give all of our birds little microchips to help ID them and separate them when we have them in hand, or if they go to a zoo for treatment. And this bird, when they trapped it, this now 9017 did not have a microchip, and so neither of the two big surf fledglings that we've been seeing a lot, 1371 and 1372, neither of those birds have received a chip yet, or at the time that this bird was trapped at Pinnacles. So we strongly believe this bird is either 1371 or Ohlone or 1372. And once the results of those genetics testing comes back, we'll know for sure. But immediately after this bird was released with their new tag, they came to Big Sur and started hanging out with their friends there and feeding and yeah, just seemed very comfortable there, which kind of gives us further indication this is likely 1371 or 1372. And yeah, they even made it down to San Simeon just yesterday. This screenshot is from yesterday. To see if there was any food out yet, and they missed me by a day. I'm down here at San Simeon now, about to put fresh food out, but so hopefully they'll return once that's out here. But yeah, cool to see this bird getting around, and we had been seeing an untagged 2025 fledgling at San Simeon pretty regularly too. So a good chance whoever that bird was is 9017 now.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, big shout out to our explorer.org viewers, Newbie 16 and Just 828 here have been really on it in getting these screenshots and noticing things. Another way we try to tell untagged fledglings apart is we try to look for any physical features that could define them, especially in the feathers, if there's a special molt or if there's like something missing. Like here, this bird who Just 828 believes is 1372. Has a little bit of one of their primaries missing. And so sort of we can notice like a physical feature like this on a bird, and then we look for who they're interacting with, like what potential parents they're interacting with or being fed from. And so yeah, Jess 828 has been thinking this bird with this part of the missing primary is 1372 because they have seen this bird being fed by 574 and 1006. And so they've kind of been matching up this specific untagged with this part of the missing primaries being fed by these parents, 574 and 1006. So it's very likely this is 1372. Yeah, and similarly, again, just 828 kind of has the same suspicions and evidence for identifying 1371 Ohlone, who also is missing a part of one of their primaries on the opposite wing of 1372, and they've been seeing this bird being fed by 219 and 538, who is their parents. So we think we have these physical identifiers, and now that we're getting tags on them too, that'll only help us keep telling them apart. So yeah, again, really, really grateful for our Explorer.org viewers who are watching so closely to pick up on these things. It helps us out a lot.
It's been
How about paying
huge.
attention to detail? Jeez,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
hmm Yeah, and then moving right along into our active nests this year. So we have 6 total active nests still, but some news on that front. I think we hadn't called 747, 1034. Their nest recently failed, unfortunately, or failed in late March. But I think that's new as of our chat now. But we were able to confirm that 758 and 936 down here at San Simeon are nesting, which is huge news. So still at 6 active nests. We've had 9 total attempts. But yeah, just to run through all the active nests still. So 190, 745. 317, 665, 840, 1031. They're all nesting here closer to the coast. We've been following their data closely. They are still showing nesting patterns, and we believe they have chicks now. We think their eggs have hatched, but we've just been being patient with the data that's coming in to really give us a solid pattern to indicate that they do indeed have chicks. But we will probably call those eggs hatched here very shortly. And then over at Pinnacles, we have 569, 589. Their nest is still active. And then 692, 726, 966, who we were showing you all photos of earlier, that trio they had failed earlier in the year, but they recycled in early March, and their nest is still going too, which we love to see. And then, yeah, last and newest nest that we've added is 758, 936. We're still following a few birds. It's getting late in the nesting season, but we're following some potential pairs who could still nest. There is still some time here, but yeah, 868, 931. We've been the Pinnacles crew has been following to see if they would nest, and then also 1036 Rosalie, who's pictured here again, and who we were showing photos of earlier. Her and 888 Cedric. The Pinnacles crew has also been following them to see if there's any nesting activity. It's not likely we'll see any nests from them this year, just given how late it is, but it is still possible.
Yep, we've seen eggs in April before.
Mm-hmm.
Or May, I'm sorry.
How many
Not
nest
many.
cams do you have?
We have one going right now, but they didn't, the pair that were supposed to nest there, we have a slide about it. They've been a little indecisive. So
Okay.
we still have some time, but there was some, there were some other shakeups in the flock. Unfortunately, with the female that was nesting there where the cam is, she lost her mate to lead poisoning. That was a 892 Vincent wild fledged bird. And she was actually a wild born chick as well. So yeah, that was a bummer. And so anytime that happens, sometimes the females a pair find a new mate, pair right up, but the male she's picked is still with another female, and he hasn't decided if he's going with her or staying with her. He's kind of playing both right now, so it's been a little frustrating to watch, but
Little condor
it's
drama.
yeah, condor drama. And again, we're on condor time in the bigger picture, as long as she, we all want to see a cam this year, but it's all about them, and they're, they're going through a lot. Some of these birds, they have to kind of reinvent their whole lives in a way. So she's all considering, as long as she, we're just hoping she doesn't do it this year. She's on track for next year big time. So
Awesome.
yeah, so yeah, but right now we do have an S cam going, but it's inactive.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Yeah, just to say a little more about the San Simeon nest, we're pretty stoked to be able to confirm this because it's our first nest there since 2019. So yeah, really happy to have a nest down here again, especially from these two, 758 Thunder Chief and 936 Madeline. They've been together for like 3 years, and each year they've been together, we've been hoping to see a nest from them, and they finally did it this year. So we're just very happy that
Patience.
it's happened. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yep. A lot
They
of
really drug it
patience.
out.
Indeed. But yeah, they seem to be going strong. They're in a pretty solid pattern. We used to see them all like together all the time, but yeah, we've been seeing them separately now. And if we do see them together, one of them's leaving pretty quickly. It seems like. So yeah, really, really happy to see this strong nesting pattern with these two.
Well, it's really significant too, right? Just being in San Simeon. We
Mhm.
haven't had many nests there in the past, right?
Yeah, we have. Yeah, this is since 2019.
Yeah, there was one nest that we had down
Yeah,
here with the trio.
we've had a couple nest attempts down there.
Yeah, but I mean, how many successfully have fledged chicks? It
Yeah,
seems like
we had one at least.
Hmm.
okay. All right.
1004 fledged from there. Unfortunately, we lost him in the fire.
Hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, cool. So they're nesting everywhere where we've released them.
But to your point, Kelly, for San Luis Obispo County, yeah, there's not many, besides the historic nesting.
Right.
For San Luis Obispo County, that one in 2019 was the first, and then hopefully this will be the second. But yeah, it's
There you
few
go.
and far between for sure.
Yeah,
And
so this is only the second since the first nest
yeah,
was discovered in San Luis Obispo County. Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
But isn't that cool? Thunder Chief and Madeline.
Hmm. Yeah, they've been our San Simeon regulars here for a few years now.
yeah,
They're a really solid pair.
I was always like, they paired up and they said, we probably don't need to have chicks just yet. It's kind of,
Yeah.
let's have a little more fun. Let's go
Yeah.
hang out.
Yes.
The parallels are crazy with
Yeah, and then there's still three pairs we're watching, or three, yeah, two pairs in a trio that we're watching for potential nesting this year still. 470 Fuego and 962 Sato they are due to nest this year. We might not see it again with the shakeup Joe was talking about. Things are kind of out of whack for these birds a little bit, especially 646 Kodama, whose nest we have the cam in right now that's inactive because of the drama that's going on with her and 652 Ferdinand and Pinnacle's managed bird 550. Yeah, they can't haven't been able to really settle
make up their
yet.
minds.
Yeah, yeah, neither female 646 nor 550 have decided to nest or lay an egg, and so yeah, we'll see if something happens there, but yeah, not looking likely for this year. And then the last pair we're watching closely are 209 Shadow and 881 Minerva, who yeah, Kelly Loves Cats, another one of our explore.org viewers, was able to get this screenshot of 209 displaying to 881 not too long ago, April 23rd. So 209 is definitely trying, and yeah, we'll see if they both end up feeling it.
Yeah, one thing we were talking about as a crew earlier this week. You're always talking lead poisoning is always at the forefront. We definitely had a few big lead poisoning events we knew of where we saw birds that were showing clinical signs. They were definitely compromised. Not to the point where they couldn't move around, but we were thinking some of these females, even any lead poisoning, when they've got to nest and produce an egg, that takes so much energy to produce an egg, that we think, because Fuego and Soto, I mean, those two and 209 and 81 are almost gimmies. We were like, those are the birds that are definitely nesting. And looking back through the data, we remember seeing 962, though both those females, we think at some point struggled with lead poisoning, and we're showing different weird behaviors we're beginning seen on the cam and reported. So that's a big factor, that obviously it's not killing them, but if it's preventing them from reproducing, that's not good either. So it's kind of just observational and in a way anecdotal, but it's we know it's probably having big, other impacts. But yeah, this little side note there.
Hmm.
Yeah, and this is what we were talking about. This is the nest cam up now, Gene. This is
Okay.
Kodama, and early on in the nest season, she was coming back with Ferdinand with 652, and it was looking really good. And then we'd see him offsite doing the same with 550. So it never really, it looked like they were really close, and then all of a sudden it's kind of just they've never really kicked into gear. So I think for 646, she wants to see that full commitment before she's gonna, right,
For
invest in an
sure.
egg. I mean,
For
that's just
sure.
logic. It's across all the all the animal kingdom there, right?
It does.
So she's being smart, I think, and just making sure she's got a good mate there. But we did talk about as a crew the potential for a trio, but the two females definitely do not like each other. I mean,
Mm-mm.
there's no love lost there. There's When we see them together, it's usually a stare down or one's chasing the other one. So it's like a episode of Love Island out there. Um, but yeah, it's anyway, we think, and another male might come along and sweep her off her feet. So who knows? There's definitely, we got a lot of bachelors out there that are up and coming. So good stuff. But yeah, the cam, we're hoping next year though. If not, there's still a wild card chance they could do it this year, but probably not. Oh shoot, I'm
Oh.
sorry, I cut off some of the text there, Darren.
No, it's all good. Yeah, and just not pairs we're watching, but there's some breeding age females that we've been following just to see if they would pair up with the male and maybe give it a go for nesting this year. But yeah, it's on the Ventana side here on the coast. We've been watching 1089 Little Great One and 1104 Otter. Otter's been spending a lot of time in San Simeon. She's a regular down here. And then on the Pinnacle side, 1078 and 1081 are two other breeding age females that we've been following to see if they would pair up with anyone. And nothing definite this year, but I was looking through the explore.org comments yesterday and found this great photo, like screen capture and comment from Newbie 16 that I just wanted to include here. That 650 has been Zenith has been displaying to 1081 quite a bit, and yeah, they happen to perch near each other, and with this angle of the camera made this heart shape, and Newbie 16 picked up on it. So I thought this was
It's so cool.
pretty fun to, yeah, it made me yeah, I loved this. Made me chuckle a little bit and thought and wanted to share it with you guys because I thought this was pretty great. So again, we might not see anything from them this year, but this all thing like is still setting things up for the next nesting season. So maybe we'll see 1081 and 650 nesting together in the upcoming year.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Mhm.
All right, getting to the end of the chat here, and yeah, as always, donation, and you can find it in to donate, help us save the Condor. We still have our Save the Condor funds going, Save the Condor fund going, and it's right. The website's right there, ventanaws.org/donate to Condor Recovery. All donations are always very appreciated, and if you want to connect with us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, of course, YouTube. This chat, for folks that didn't watch it live, we'll have it recorded so you can watch it later. And again, subscribe for our latest updates on all the programs in the flock, get the full crop, our e-newsletter. And again, the fundraiser coming up, just another reminder of the dates there. And yeah, if you're signed up on our
Mhm.
on Instagram, check us out on social media. We'll have updates on that. But yeah, we're really looking forward to that. Getting pretty excited. It's creeping up on us. It's June 7th. It's not that far away. So
Nope.
yeah, it's going to be super exciting. And of course, now it's time for questions. I mean, we answered some questions along the way, Mike, but we got any in there?
Yeah, let's slip in one or two here before we go. Sue in Costa Mesa, California. I'll throw this to Darren. Do condor parents chase away their offspring at a certain time, or do they stay together as a family unit? When is that sort of cutoff period when the family issues their independence to the kids?
Yeah, that's a great question. And yeah, I'll kind of share what I've observed, and then yeah, Joe, if you have anything to add on, please do. But yeah, it kind of seems like rather than like a sort of official chasing off or anything, it seems to be kind of a gradual. The chicks just become more gradually independent over time, and where they're just feeding on their own, they're spending less time with their parents and more time with other birds and moving around on their own more. And so they just kind of phase out from relying on their parents for food and spending time with them. And yeah, they just kind of become more independent on their own. And when that happens, the parents also just kind of like back off, let it happen. And then the parents typically are then ready to start nesting again. So there's kind of a mutual just sort of growing apart that we see.
You
And,
see
and
variation. You see some birds take a lot longer than others.
yeah, yep, absolutely.
We
Yeah.
can relate to that too.
Exactly.
Yeah, we see that in
Some
humans.
like to just stick around, but then there's some that are right out of the gate, like over at Pinnacles, those birds get independent within, like we've had a few pairs over there that are or a couple that keep nesting every year. So
Hmm. Yep. Um, but yeah, once they are independent though, we really don't when you see them show up with their parents again, you wouldn't really be able to tell that they were related or that there was ever any connection there because they're kind of the chicks are fully independent and now they're just kind of like looped into the hierarchy with their parents. So they're competing for food and roost spots and other resources. Yeah, so once they become independent, it's a pretty clean break.
You're on your own, kid.
yeah, we've seen yeah, I was thinking of 219 with Penny and God, he was still feeding her for yeah, after she was almost 2 years old. So that was pretty wild.
Hmm. Yeah,
A question from Portland, Oregon that is for me. Lead is still the number one killer, so why are lead bullets still sold? And I think the answer to that is that although non-lead ammunition is required for shooting at an animal in California, lead ammunition is still allowed for target shooting where wildlife is presumably not impacted. And so the target shooting industry is quite large. And so it is still legal, therefore, to buy and sell lead ammunition in California. But what we're seeing is we're seeing more stores stock up their inventory with non-lead ammunition. Not all stores, but gradually we're seeing better selection of non-lead ammunition on the shelf. And so that's a good sign. And part two of your question, how do you build a coalition to convince hunters and ranchers to make the switch? And I think some of this is quite easy because the non-lead ammunition is quite good. The hunters and ranchers want to shoot it. They've made the switch. So in some ways, our job is become a little bit easier in the sense that it's less about convincing and more about helping those hunters and ranchers actually find the non-lead ammunition available. And there's still a couple of calibers that are in short supply. And so we really need to increase manufacturing, increase store inventory, and connect those stores with the shooters. And that's a little bit of a longer process, but we're really optimistic about the trend that we're on. And then maybe one last question that I'll send to Joe from George in El Dorado Hills, California. Can you share some population status or trend information. Are the populations increasing, decreasing? What can you tell us about condor numbers besides the fact that there are 113? Where are we in this trend?
Yeah, the world population number for condors is just over it. This was an exciting year because we hit over 600. Approximately 200 of those are in captivity, and the other 400 are spread out in the wild between Central California, Southern California, and now Northern California. And then, of course, a big flock out in Arizona. I believe they're just over 100 now out in Arizona. Southern California is around 90. And then, of course, Northern California is at 25. And then there's also a flock in Baja, Mexico. Collaboration with the Mexican government. There's a flock in Northern Baja. I believe that is around 40. We post the population up if they want to really see specific numbers. We post that as a PDF you can download view it on our website. But yeah, that's kind of the general overview of the numbers.
Right. But would you say that the population is increasing because of the management that we're doing, but they're not yet self-sustaining?
Yeah, that hits the nail on the head. We're trying to reach that, kind of building upon your last question. We're trying to get past the lead. If we can get past the lead poisoning, we're confident that we can hit that self-sustaining period. But right now the flock is still dependent on management. But the good thing is we're confident, just us that work with them out in the field and seeing how all their natural behaviors, we know if we can get past lead poisoning, that they're going to just go up from there, just based on all the success we see the birds do naturally. So this is an obstacle they have to get by. That obviously it's a human obstacle that we got to get out of their way, and the flock can take off. No pun intended.
Yeah, the birds are doing the right thing, and we are seeing some good years. Unfortunately, we are seeing a bad year every now and then, and some sort of episodic events. But we are seeing signs that the condors really can take off if we solve this major threat. And I'll add that when I first became interested in birds back in 1981 as a sixth grader, the population was at its lowest level, and I was told that they were about ready to go extinct. So it's quite gratifying with that perspective to see where we are now, and to be able to appreciate condors, to be like Jean and be able to see a condor on the property and take selfies with condors. And my hope is that
Wiggle.
my hope is that everyone someday will be able to experience that, as well as experience that great feeling of hearing the wind through a condor's wings that you can only really imagine once you're standing right under it. And
Yep.
so I'll leave you with that, and send it to you, Joe, to take us home.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, that's a great note to end on. And yeah, join us next month again, the Condor Chat, May 28th, 2026 at 4 p.m. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Jean.
Thank you. Thank you for having
And
me.
yeah, and thank to all the viewers that tuned in. And yeah, we look forward to next month. We'll be right on the kicking off the event at the next Condor Chat. So that'd be pretty exciting, at least the online auction, I believe. So yeah, we'll have a lot more information on that. And yeah, see everyone next month. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.